Hi everybody and welcome to your Tuesday's math session. So our learning today is really going to follow on from what we did yesterday. So yesterday we were partitioning, so today we're going to be thinking about the actual written method. So let me just share my screen with you. We're going to wake up our brains with our first challenge. Now this skill again is going to be really helpful from yesterday. But also is going to just wake up your brains for this morning. So what we're going to do, we're going to start off by timesing by 10, times by 100, timesing by 1,000. So remember, we are making it 10 times bigger, 100 times bigger, or 1,000 times bigger. Now, a place value grid up here will be really, really helpful. So if you want to either draw one into your books or just on a piece of paper in front of you, just to help you if you need to check what you're doing is correct. So remember, when we times by 10, can you see that? Let me just tilt that down a little bit. So we times by 10, times by 100, times by 1,000. We move, because we're timesing, we move to the left. I'm just going to make me a little bit bigger so you can see me. There I am. Hello, everybody. Okay, so when you times in by 10, times in by 100, times in by 1,000, you move your numbers to the left. They shift to the left. And then you need to add your placeholders to make sure that they are in the right position. They are not able, it makes your full number, sorry. Okay, so when you times by 10, we always move to the left, but this is one place. Times by 100 is 2 places. And times in by 1,000, you would move it 3 places, and so on, so forth. So let's start, I don't know, with the number 24, okay? If I want to times 24 by 100, I then start with my 24, I'm going to make it 100 times bigger, and times it by 100. So it's going to move, let me look down here, times by 100, 2 places to the left. So the 2 is going to do choop, choop, because it's not going to be 2 tens anymore because I've made those 100 times bigger. So then 2 is now going to be in my thousands column. The 4 does exactly the same. So it's not 4 ones anymore. It's now going to be 4 hundreds. Now, can I just leave them floating there? No, because now it just looks like I've written them in the wrong columns. But I've actually need to add my 2 placeholders, which are zeros. So I know now that 24 times by 100 is 2,400. Okay, so just have a little pause of this video. What I want you to do is have a go at these 3 questions in your book. Remember, place value grid will really, really help you. And come on back when you've done it. Okay, so hopefully you've had a go at that now in your books. So let's have a look at our answers then. I'm just going to try and make my pen a little bit thicker so you can see it. So 34 then, it's 3 tens, 4 ones, but I'm timesing it by 10, so it's going to move 1 place to the left. Can you see my pencil moving up there? Going to move 1 place to the left, so that is now going to be a 3 in the hundreds column. My 4 will be in the tens column, and I need to add my 1 placeholder. So everything's moved to the left and I've got my placeholder. So it's now 340. Okay, so 39, same again. I start with 3 nines, 3 tens, and 9 ones. I'm going to move them 2 places to the left now because it's 100. So my 3 is going to go into, I'm just going to do that now, into my thousands column. My 9 goes into my hundreds column, and then I need my 2 placeholders. So 39 times 100 is 3,900. And the last one then, so I've got 12, so I've got 1 10, 2 ones. My 110 is going to get 1,000 times bigger, so it needs to move 3 columns to the left. So hundreds, thousands. Now it's not actually on here, but it's the 10,000. So I've got 1 10,000, then I'm going to have 2 thousands, and again I need my 3. Just try and squish those on. Really hard to write on a screen. Okay, so 12 times 1,000, it's got 1,000 times bigger, is 12,000. Give yourself a little tick for all of those you've got right. Fantastic. Now let's move on then. Now we've woken our brains up a little bit. Let's move on to, just take that off, clear my drawings before they get taken over. To today. So today we're going to be carrying on. So yesterday, timesing by 1-digit numbers, but this time we're going to use our written method. Okay, this is old learning, so you should have done this before, but if not, it is a chance for you to practice, practice, practice. Okay, and why? So that we can use a more efficient method to multiply. So this method is going to be a lot quicker and a lot more efficient when you're timesing by one digit number. Okay, so it's short multiplication. So here you can see a short multiplication. Okay, so all I want you to do is just have a little pause, explain it glasses on, just have a look at my method and see if you can work out what has been done. Okay, because the best way to start to use this method is to make sure that you understand what's happening and why it's happening. So here you can see I've put up the partitioning method that we did yesterday. So you can see how this is pretty much what we did here, but in a slightly different way. So pause this video, have a little look, see if you can unpick what has happened. Okay, so hopefully you've had a chance to look at that and you can see by using my arrows what is actually happening in our short multiplication. So you can see I've set it up just like I would a normal column method, because it is a column multiplication. Okay, so you've got your 75, your 10 column, your ones, and then your whatever your times by is a one digit number, so that needs to go in your ones. So the first step you can see here, I've done 5, follow the red arrow, I've done 5 times by 3. Okay, which is, we know, 15. But just like in column methods, you cannot have your 10 for your 15 in your ones column because it's not a 1. You need to rename those 10 ones and you're going to move it into your 10s column. So you can see here I've circled it 15. I've got 5 ones and 1 10. All that 1 10 has done is jumped into the 10s, and I'm going to then use that in a minute. Okay. Then you can see here, the next step is 7 times by 3. So we're fab at our times tables. We all know 21. But just like in column method, when you're adding, you need to also add that extra 1 10 there. So now I've not got 21 10s anymore. I'm going to have 22 10s. Okay. Now, rather than renaming the 2 over here, because I've got nothing else that I'm going to be timesing this 3 by, so I've not got a 3-digit number, that can then go into my answer box. So I put my 2 as normal in my 10s, and rather than renaming it, because there's no multiplication that I need to do, I just make my own little hundreds column in my answer box. And my final answer should be left in your answer box, which is 225. So you can see up here, it's exactly like we would have done it yesterday with our partitioning. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to have a go at this one together. So I'm going to be writing it on my board. I would like you to be drawing it along with me with your books in front of you. So let's start off then by writing it out. So as I said, we set it out just like a normal column method, like we would do normally. So 32, but instead of adding, we are now timesing. So make sure your symbol is a time symbol. And I'm going to times it by 6. So remember that stays in your ones column. Then I haven't got a ruler right in front of me, so I'm just going to use something that is around me. Remember, same rules apply. 1 digit per square, per box in your books. Make sure it still looks as beautiful as it would be if you were at school, and make sure you've got those rulers. So first step then, I'm going to use the same colours as I did there so we can see what's happening. I'm going to start with my 1. So 2 times by 6 is 12. So I put my 2 ones in my box, and I'm going to rename those 10 ones. I'm going to pass it over to the 10s. Okay, so I'm going to do the circle again, just like I did on the other one. You can see 2 times by 6 is 12. Okay, done that now. I'm going to give that a little tick off. I'm now going to focus on my 10. So I've got 3 10s times by 6. So effectively here, I'm doing 30 times by 6, which is just like we would be doing in our partitioning, but we are doing it in our short multiplication method. So 30 times 6, or 3 times 6, is 3 times 6 is 18. So I've got 18 10s, you can see, plus my 1 here. So I've now got 19 10s. So normally, if I had some more, I would put my 9 there, and my 1 would be renamed to go into the next column. But because I've got nothing else here left to do, that is actually part of my answer. Okay, so imagine I've got my hundreds, my 10s and 1s there. So the answer, so 32, can you see that if I write it down here? 32 times by 6 is 192. So hopefully you've got that in your books now. Let me just use my green because I forgot to do that bit. 3 times by 6, and then we have our 19. Okay, and I'm going to add that one as well, which is why I got 19. So I'm hoping you can see how this method works. Now, the only thing I do want to point out at this point is, let me just quickly change my number. So normally in your column method, you rename 1 into the next column. So it might be 10 tens you rename as 100, 10 ones you rename as 110. Okay, but with your short multiplication, okay, you may have to rename more than 1. So let me just show you this example here. So I've got 44 times by 6, which we know is 24. I've got 4 ones as normal, but because it's 24, I've got to rename 2 lots of 10. So I then move my 2 lots of 10 into my tens column. Okay, so can you see that there? 24, if I just circle it as we did before, my answer was 24. I've got 2 tens that I've moved over and my 4 ones stay in there. Then again, just carry on as you would do before. 3 times by 6 is 18, plus these 2 lots of tens that you've renamed down here. So that's 18, 19, 20. And again, I've got nothing else to do, so I can put that into my answer box. 34 times by 6 equals 204. Okay, happy with that? Okay, so now we've had 2 little practices together. I want you to have a little go on your independent page now. So that's your right-hand page. So there's 2 short multiplications for you to have a go at there. The first one is just like we've been practicing. The second one you will notice has got 3 digits. Now that doesn't change. You are still doing your same methods, but you now have to do your 2 times by 7, your 4 times by 7, and the 1 times by 7. So just have a little go. Pause this video until you've done them. Once you've done those 2, if you want a little bit of an extra challenge, you've got a Convince Me and a Use It Masterclasses question to have a go at, and then you can come on back and we will see how you get on. Okay, so hopefully you've had a little go at those now. So let's do 42 times by 7. This is what you should have in your books. 2 times by 7 is 14. So I've got my 4 ones and my 110 that I'm renaming. 4 times by 7 is 28. But remember this 110 down here, 29. I've not got another column, so I don't need to rename on this one. So I can just simply put my answer in the box. 42 times by 7, you should have got 294. Give yourself a big tick if you've got that one right. Now, this is where this is a new little method for you. So now we've got our 3 digits. So we're still going to do exactly how we've done before. 2 times by 7 is 14. Ooh, that's a very big renaming one. 4 times by 7, so 4 tens times by 20, 4 tens times by 7 is 28. But again, I've got this 110 here. So I've got 29 tens. Now I've got my 3rd column now. I've got my hundreds column. So I can't just put it in the answer box, okay, because I'm not finished. So I need to put my 9 tens there, and I'm going to rename those 2 lots of tens into 20 lots of tens, sorry, into 200s. Okay, so then you will now see, just like we did here, 14, I've partitioned 29. Okay, so my 20 tens have now been renamed into 200s. Now you do your final, so we can tick the 2 off, tick the 4 off. 1 times by 7 is 7, but I've got these 200s down here as well. So I now need to add them together. So 7, 8, 9. I've now got 900. So my answer to 142 times by 7 is 990. Okay, hoping you all did really well at that. If you are still struggling with your 3-digit numbers, then just keep practicing. Maybe think of your own random 3-digit numbers and times them by a 1-digit number. That's absolutely fine. And just keep practicing until you are confident. If you are confident, we're going to move on to your independent activity. So this is going to be in your practice books. So just a quick reminder again, if you are wanting to get your actual textbook, your practice book, there's a link on your timetable that you can just click on, and it will give you access to our practice books as normal, you can fill them in. If not, no need to worry. You can just simply put them into whatever book or paper you are using right now. So I'm just going to zoom this in. We're going to carry on from the worksheet that we started yesterday. So the sheet that we started yesterday was page 6, I think. Let me just double check. It was page 6 and we did question 1, 2 and 3. So we're just going to carry on with that. So on page 7, you will see question 4, question 5, question 6, and question 7, which is down there. So I'll move that in a minute. So question 4, just A, B, C, D, E, and F, simply what we've been doing. They set everything up for you, so it's just a matter of you using this method. Question 5, you're going to have to draw your own short multiplication using the information that you've got in the question. So you might need to do an extra little picking out of information. Question 6 is actually not necessarily asking you for the answer, it's asking you a little bit of a convince me. So this is the question. How do you know that this answer is going to lie between this number? So it's asking you to use that knowledge that you already have of times and multiplication to then explain how you know it's going to be between those two numbers. So that's going to need to put a little bit of a thinking cap on for that one. And then question 7, you have got a bit of a word problem where you're going to have to do lots of multiple steps. Okay, but as we normally do in class, if you are still struggling with question 4 and you just need to simply stick and practice your method, your short multiplication method, that's absolutely fine. So just maybe take a pause on question 4 and then do some extra practice ones in your books. Then when you're ready, you can move on to 5, 6 and 7. That's absolutely fine. It's a lot of independent learning we need to do while we are at home, and any adults or older siblings that you've got at home might be able to give you a hand if you are struggling. So question 4, 5 and 6, and then as normal, we will then move on to our reflect, where this is simply asking you to explain how you use short multiplication to work out 127 times 5. So it wants you to explain those steps. So almost like you are now becoming Miss Dyson, who's modelling it for you, and we're doing our worked example together. It's your job to explain how you would do that. I can't wait to see all your amazing short multiplications, and I will be back with you tomorrow for your next math session. So I'll see you all soon. Goodbye.